Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. Today I'm going to go over the MLB games and WNBA games from yesterday. Look ahead to today's games in each sport. FIFA women's, we will make some picks for the games that will be going on overnight. And then the other soccer games as well. We have the Open, and I'll give out tee times and picks. News and notes, and best bet. All right, baseball is where we'll begin. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today's games. Giants over the Reds 4-2-10. That was the suspended game. Phillies over the Brewers 4-3. Dodgers over the O's 10-3. So the Dodgers are really sticking it and being like, yeah, that's cute, Orioles, but we're the Dodgers. Yeah, typical. Guardians over the Pirates 10-1. Padres over the Blue Jays 9-1. So that was a big win for San Diego. Mets over the White Sox 11-10. Big win for them. D-backs over the Braves 16-13. Big win for Zona. Giants over the Reds 11-10. So the offense was out the force yesterday. Cardinals over the Marlins 5-2-10 on a walk-off homer by Nolan Arenado. Rangers over the Rays 5-3. The Rays have been terrible this month. Cubs over the Nationals 17-3. Royals over the Tigers 11-10. Rockies over the Astros 4-3. Angels over the Yankees 5-1. A's over the Red Sox 3-0. Really bad losses for the two AL East teams out west. And the Twins over the Mariners 10-3. But really, the Red Sox losing to the A's is worse than the Yankees losing to the Angels, despite the Yankees being in last only because Mr. Shohei Ohtani plays for the Los Angeles Angels. And the A's have less than 30 wins on the season. So we have matinee games today. 12:30 have the Guardians at the Pirates. Aaron Savali and Rich Hill. Aaron Savali in trade rumors. If I'm the Guardians, I keep him. I know how attractive young controllable arms are. And a team like the Yankees would be really interesting for Savali. But if I'm the Guardians, I don't trade him. I keep him. Because I think you can get more for him potentially in the offseason or even next year. The Guardians are minus 138. Pittsburgh's plus 118. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Guardians minus 1.5 is plus 126. Pittsburgh plus 1.5 is minus 152. Pittsburgh's fallen off a cliff after their good start. I'm going full game under here because I think Savali will pitch well against this lineup. 1 o'clock Dodgers O's. Dodgers going for the sweep. Julio Urias, Dean Kremer. Dodgers minus 154, O's plus 130, over under 9, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Dodgers minus 1.5 is plus 108, O's plus 1.5 is minus 130. I'm going full game over here. 2 o'clock, Rays Rangers. Zach Little and John Gray. Rangers going for the sweep. They're minus 118 favorites. Rays are even money, over under 9. Overs minus 122, unders even money. Rays minus 1.5 is plus 140. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 170. So Rays favored on the run line, Rangers favored on the money line. The Rays have been really bad this month, but I think it's being overshadowed because of how far the Yankees have fallen in their own division. So I'm going to go with the Rangers to pull up the sweep. I'm big on this Rangers team. Marlins Cards at 2:15. Sandy Alcantara and Dakota Hudson. We'll see if Sandy Alcantara has a better second half. Dakota Hudson was really good in his first couple of starts. Cards are minus 118. Marlins even money, over under 8.5, minus 110 each way. Marlins plus 1.5 is minus 200. Cards minus 1.5 is plus 164. I like the under. Astros Rockies at 3. Brandon Bielak and Austin Gomber. Astros minus 162. Rockies plus 136. Over under 12, minus 110 each way. Astros minus 1.5 is minus 102. Rockies plus 1.5 is plus 118. I like full game under. That's way too high. And Bielak hasn't been terrible for Houston. 3:30 Red Sox A's. Bram Balow and Ken Waldichuk. Boston minus 240. A's plus 194, over under 8.5, minus 110 each way. Boston minus 1.5 is minus 142. A's plus 1.5 is plus 118. I was going to say full game under, but Waldichuk's pretty bad. Then we'll go full game over instead. 6:30 Brewers Phillies. Colin Rea and Christopher Sanchez. Christopher Sanchez blew up in his last start against the Padres. Phils are minus 180. Brewers plus 152 over under 9. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Brewers plus 1.5 is minus 134. Phillies minus 1.5 is plus 112. For this one, I like full game under. 7 o'clock, Yankees, Angels. Carlos Rodon, Chase Silseth. Let's see if Rodon could go out there and be the stopper from the sweep. Yanks are favored, probably should be favored, minus 138. Angels plus 118, over under 8.5. Overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Yankees minus 1.5 is plus 118. Angels plus 1.5 is minus 142. I like full game over. I think Yankee offense will perform better, and I could see the Angels putting up some runs as well. Rodon hasn't lit the world on fire in his first 2 starts this year. Padres, Blue Jays, Yu Darvish, and Jose Barrios. Jays minus 120, Padres plus 102 over under 9. Overs plus 104, unders minus 128. Padres minus 1.5 is plus 168. Jays plus 1.5 is minus 205. Padres favored on the run line. Jays favored on the money line. Barrios has pretty much turned it around after a slow start. People are calling him the Patrick Corbett of the American League, including myself, so that was a mistake. This is a hard one. Full game under is overpriced. So I'm going to go with, and full game over is overpriced too. Weirdly enough, I'm going to go under 4 Padre runs, minus 104. Don't feel good about it though. White Sox, Mets. 2K2 Saint, Justin Verlander. Verlander pitching a little bit better for the Mets. 2 Saint hasn't been bad for Chicago. Mets are minus 15. The White Sox are plus 180 over under 9. Overs minus 104, unders minus 118. White Sox plus 1.5 and Mets minus 1.5 is minus 110 each way. I like full game under. Giants, Reds. Ross Stripling, Graham Ashcraft. Giants minus 112, Reds minus 104 over under 10.5. Overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Giants minus 1.5 is plus 134. Reds plus 1.5 is minus 162. I like the Giants on the money line, minus 112. D-backs, Braves at 720. Ryan Nelson and Charlie Morton. See if the Braves can bounce back. They're minus 230. D-backs plus 190 over under 10. Overs minus 105, unders minus 115. D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 102. Braves minus 1.5 is minus 118. I think they're juicing the totals because of last night. I like the full game under. Charlie Morton's actually been pretty good for Atlanta this year. Nats, Cubs at 8. Trevor Williams, Kyle Hendricks. Cubs minus 162. Nats plus 136. Over under 9. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Nats plus 1.5 is minus 146. Cubs minus 1.5 is plus 122. Trevor Williams has been okay. Hendricks has had some flashes. I like full game under 2 here. Tigers, Royals. Eduardo Rodriguez and Ryan Yarbrough. This is Rodriguez's last start as a Tiger. They're minus 154. Royals plus 130 over under 8.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Tigers minus 1.5 is plus 114. Royals plus 1.5 is minus 137. This matchup had a lot of runs last night too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to go under 3.5 Royal runs, minus 115. And last but not least, 9:30 Twins Mariners. Kenta Maeda and Luis Castillo. Mariners minus 148, Twins plus 126, over under 7.5, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Twins plus 1.5 is minus 170, Mariners minus 1.5 is plus 140. I like full game over. Maeda has been terrible this season. Okay, now move on to the WNBA. We will go over the games from yesterday. Look ahead to today's game. Dream over the Lynx, 82-73. And the Mercury over the Sun, 72-66. So it looks like best bet lost because I took the over in the Sun-Mercury game. And it was an easy loser. So both WNBA totals went under yesterday. 2 matinee games today. 11:30 of the Fever and the Mystics. That's interesting. The Mystics are giving 2.5, total is 157.5. Oh my God. I love the Mystics. Like, that is way too low. That is a lock. That is my favorite WNBA play of the year. Give me the Mystics -2.5 against the Fever. Wow. I mean, is Elena Delle Donne hurt or something? Like, oh, she is injured. She sprained her ankle. I'm sorry. I didn't know Elena Delle Donne was hurt, but all right, that eliminates that for best bet, but I still like the Mystics minus the points. And then at 1 o'clock on NBA TV, you have the Wings and the Liberty. The Liberty are giving 7.5 totals, 170.5. I'm taking the Wings getting the points. The Liberty are so overvalued. They've had some weird losses this year. I like Dallas getting the points at New York. All right, now we'll move on to the FIFA World Cup. If you missed the podcast from last night, where I did the preview and predictions, go check it out. I'm really excited for FIFA. It is going to be a lot of fun. And it all begins at 3:30 in the morning tomorrow between New Zealand and Norway. So this is Group A. And these are the two teams I had advancing. So Norway's -370. New Zealand is 10-1. The draw is 5-1. I think there's value on the draw. Norway should win the group. I'm going to bet the draw at 5-1. And then at 6 o'clock a.m. on Fox, you have Austria and Ireland. That is Group A2, if I am not mistaken. No. It is Group B. So Austria and Ireland's Group B. Austria is -350. Ireland is 10-1. The draw's plus 470. I picked Australia and Canada to come out from this group. I picked Canada to win the group. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at plus 108 as my pick for that one. And then tomorrow night's game we'll do on the podcast. And we'll do the 2 overnight games. On tomorrow's podcast as well. So if we have overnight games, we'll do them on the podcast prior to when they're played. And if we have games that night, say Nigeria, Canada, tomorrow, we'll do that on tomorrow's podcast because that's so tomorrow at 10:30 on Fox. All right, now to regular soccer. We have a lot of friendlies to discuss, including a final not a final, but a game going on right now. So, finals from yesterday, West Ham over Tottenham 3-2, Ajax over Shakhtar 3-0, Besiktas over Mezzokovesti 4-0, Sturm Graz over Galatasaray 2-0, and Villarreal over SC Rheindorf 3-0. Going on right now, Man United and Lyon as a 0-0 draw. 12 o'clock, you have Oberhausen and Dortmund. I'm going to check to see if any of these friendlies are bettable. And we have UEFA qualifiers too to talk about too, so that's gonna be fun. So that's not up there. 12:30 you have Karl Usher and Liverpool. Liverpool should win that game. And by the way, I think Dortmund's gonna beat Oberhausen. 1:30 Monaco and Betis. I think Betis wins 2:45. Crawley Town and Crystal Palace. I like Crystal Palace there. 8 o'clock tonight on ESPN. You have Chelsea and Wrexham. So a rare ESPN game. That's a friendly. They're just warm-up games for their leagues. I like Chelsea. At 9 o'clock, you have New Mexico and Sunderland. I think New Mexico is going to win that one. We have friendlies tomorrow, too, which we'll get to on the podcast tomorrow. Try to pull up Europa. On here. The odds are up, but they're not listed. On the app here. Let's just do a I'm just gonna do a double check here, so I'm just gonna go on the website to see if they're up here. So women's friendly: Scotland over Finland 2-1, Northern Ireland over Czech Republic 2-0, and Iceland over Austria 1-0. UEFA qualifying: Zalgiris over Struga 2-1, Rakow over Flora 3-0, Maccabi over Hamrin 2-1, Sheriff over FC Ferul 3-0, Bate Borisov over Partiani 2-0, BK Hacken over the New Saints 2-0, Banant over Zerzinski Mostar 3-2, but it was 4-3 on penalties. So they advance on aggregate. Beard Dabalik over Shamrock Rovers 2-1. And Beard Dabalik advances 3-1 on aggregate. BK Hackett advances 5-1 on aggregate. Bate advances 3-1 on aggregate. Sheriff 3-1 on aggregate. Maccabi 6-1 on aggregate. Raquel 4-0 on aggregate. Zalgiris 2-1 on aggregate. Conference League qualifying, NK Domzale over Balzan FC 3-1, and Balzan advances, though, 5-4 on aggregate. USL League 1, Union over 1 Knoxville 2-1. I should say Union Omaha, because we have other soccer clubs called Union. And then today, we have Champions League qualifying. 11 o'clock, we have Valmeria and Olimpija. Olimpija leads 2-1 on aggregate. Olimpija, minus 125. Valmeria is 3-1. The draws plus 250. And I like over 2.5 goals at minus 116. 12 o'clock, you have Dynamo, Tbilisi, and FC Astana. They're tied on aggregate. Dynamo's plus 120, FC Astana's plus 220. The draw's plus 210. I'm going to go Dynamo to win, plus 120. Ferencvaros and KL Klasvik, they are tied on aggregate. Ferencvaros is minus 480. KL's 10-1. The draw's plus 470. For this one, we're going to go over 3.5 goals at plus 150. FK Karabag and Lincoln Red Imps. Karabag's minus 1,000. Lincoln is 16-1. The draw 750. I'm going to go over 3.5 goals at plus 112. 2 o'clock, Ludo Goretz, Resgard, and Belanki. Belanki leads 2-0 on aggregate. Ludo Goretz is minus 300. Balkani's plus 650. The draw's plus 380. I'm going to go over 3.5 goals at plus 152. Swift, Hesperange, and Slovan Bratislava, they're tied on aggregate. Slovan's minus 115. Swift is plus 260. Draws plus 260. I'm going to go with Slovan at minus 115. 2:30, Larne and HJK Helsinki. Helsinki leads 1-0 on aggregate. They're plus 110. Larne's plus 240. Draws plus 210. I'm going to go with HJK at plus 110. USL Championship, 7 o'clock tonight. You have Detroit and Louisville. Louisville's plus 105. Detroit's plus 230. Draws plus 230. For this one, I'm going to go with Louisville at plus 105. And in League One, Charlotte, Greenville. I don't have odds up for that, but I'm going to go with Charlotte at plus 135. That's according to ESPN. And then last but not least, we have a good one tonight. The MLS All-Star game. You have the All-Stars against Arsenal, 8:30. I think it's going to be on Fox Sports 1. The game will be played in D.C. at Audi Field, the home of D.C. United. We went over the roster for MLS a couple of weeks ago, but we'll talk about it again. You have Roman Berkey of St. Louis SC, Tyler Miller of DC United, Dorde Petrovic of New England Revolution. Those are your goalies. Defenders, Lucas Zelleran of the Crew, Alvaro Barrios of FC Cincinnati, Ryan Hollingshead of LAFC, John Gallagher of Austin FC, Matt Miagza of FC Cincinnati, Walker Zimmerman of Nashville SC, Tim Parker of St. Louis FC, John Tolkien of the Red Bulls, Jacob Glesnes of the Union, midfielders, Thiago Almadra of Atlanta United, Matthew Chonorer of CF Montreal, now we're in the midfielders, Hector Herrera of the Houston Dynamo, Jose Martinez of the Philadelphia Union, Ricky Puig of the LA Galaxy, Aiden Morris of the Columbus Crew, Luciano Acosta of FC Cincinnati, Hani Mukhtar of Nashville FC, Carlos Gil of the New England Revolution, and forwards Kate Kamara of the Chicago Fire, Jesus Ferreira of FC Dallas, Georgios Giamakis of Atlanta United, Christian Bentke of DC United, Jordan Morris of the Seattle Sounders, Dennis Bouanga of LAFC, and Christian Espinosa of San Jose. Wayne Rooney will be the coach. And that's your MLS All-Star roster. It's loaded. So Apple TV's going to have the game, it looks like, with that new deal. So Arsenal's favored at minus 280. MLS is 5-1. The draw's plus 430. I think that the MLS All-Stars are going to show up and show out. Will they win? I think they have a really good chance. They're 5-1. But I'm going to go with the draw at plus 430 because I think this is a loaded roster. Arsenal's awesome, don't get me wrong. But I think this team has a chance. So I'm going to go with the draw at plus 430. And I think it's going to be close late in the game. All right, now we'll move on to golf. That was a lot of soccer because we had to do FIFA and whatnot. So we have the Open. We'll go over the tee times and then I'll make a pick. 135. You have Matthew Jordan, Brandon Grace, and Richie Ramsey. And this is going to be at the Royal Liverpool Golf Course. That is in England. And I'm obviously going to be talking about the tee times in Eastern time. We're going to do notables. 146 is Ryan Henley. 157, Ryan Fox, Lucas Herbert. 208, Charles Schwartzel. 230, Patrick Reed. 241, Victor Perez. 252, Luis Olsen. 303, JT Potson, Trey Molinak, Stuart Singh. 314, Harry English, Adam Putnam. 325, Scott Stallings. 336, Kurt Katayama. 347, Chris Straka, Sam Burns. 403, Jordan Spieth, Jason Day, Matt Fitzpatrick. That's a good group. 414, Seamus Power, Taylor Gooch. 425, Davis Riley, Kyung-Gu Lee. 436, Hideki Matsuyama, Patrick Cantlay, Brooks Koepka. That's a pretty good group. 447, Scotty Scheffler, Adam Scott, Tommy Fleetwood. 458, Xander Schauffele, Wyndham Clark, Cam Smith. 509, Shane Lowry, Ricky Fowler, Robert McIntyre. 520, Bryson DeChambeau, Siwoo Kim, and Cam Young. 531, Nicholas Hojard. 604, Lucas Hodges. 658, Michael Kim. There's a lot of non-notables coming up here. 720, Brendan Todd. 731, Gary Woodland. 742, Christian Ziedenhout, M.W. Lee. 753, Corey Connors, Alex Noren, Brett Horschel. 804, Abraham Answer, Taylor Hogue. Tom Kim. 815, Matt Wallace, Zach Johnson. 826, Sahith Thiglia, Dustin Johnson, Emiliano Grillo. 837, Francesco Molinari, Dylan McCarthy. 848, Tristan Lawrence, Tomas Dietrich, Brian Harmon. 904, Taylor Moore, Danny Willett. 915, Ben Griffin. 937, Joaquin Neiman, Sanjay M. Keegan Bradley. 948, Justin Thomas, Tony Finau, Victor Hovland. That's a pretty good group. 959, Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, Justin Rose. That's a loaded group. 1010, Colin Morikawa, Max Homa, Tyrell Hatton. 1021, Adam Schenk, Phil Mickelson, Nate Taylor. 10 and that's really it among notables. I have a pick in mind. This is a golfer that I love picking at big events. This golfer played well the last time the Open was at this location. This is a live golfer. And the live golfers, I think, like to show up and out in these tournaments. You saw Bryson DeChambeau. Play well. At tournaments, you saw Brooks Koepka win one. And this gentleman, I think, is going to perform well at this course. He's 33-1, and that's Dustin Johnson, and I'm going to lay a quarter unit on this. So a quarter unit, Dustin Johnson, 33-1 to win the Open. Alrighty. News and notes time. There's a lot of football stuff that I want to get to. The Cowboys are in the news. They are working on contract extensions for CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs, and Terrence Steele, according to the great Adam Schefter. Let's see what they could work on. CeeDee's going to demand a lot. Diggs is going to demand a lot. So I'm interested to see how that goes. But the bad news for the Dallas Cowboys is that Zach Martin may hold out, as he believes he's woefully underpaid compared to the rest of the top-paid guards. Wow. We could be headed for a very interesting summer, for the second half of summer for football, with Saquon Barkley and Zach Martin holding out, two big-time players in the NFC East holding out. That's a huge deal for both of those teams, and those would be big losses if both players hold out into the season. And then the other big news for this morning, Steelers edge rusher Alex Highsmith gets a 4-year extension, $68 million. That puts him among the top 10 highest paid edge rushers. So, good job by the Steelers locking up Highsmith, who really has come so far and really has earned that contract extension, as he was a steal in the third round in 2020. So that's a big extension to lock up one of your building blocks there on defense. Gerard Davis out for the season after undergoing knee surgery. That's not surprising. We talked about Gerard Davis. And the funny thing is, we were just talking about Zach Martin. He got a 99 in Madden. We talked about Aaron Donald's 99. Chris Jones got a 96. Justin Fields says he's a top 5 running quarterback. Same class as Vic, Cam, Lamar, and Steve Young. He's a pretty good one, but he needs more to show more to be mentioned with those great players. Patrick Mahomes had an epic Super Bowl story as he booked his family an Airbnb 3 months before the Super Bowl in Phoenix. That's crazy. College football news. Kirby Smart announces that Smoke Bowie has departed before his first season with the Bulldogs. So, that's not great for Georgia. So they have some turmoil going on with the 2-time champs, which is not good. Brett Venables takes a shot at Deion Sanders over roster management. That's for some trash talk right there. Sad news for Iowa football. Former offensive lineman Cody Ince passes away at the age of 23. It was all Big Ten. Honorable mention in 2020. That's really sad. Thoughts and prayers go out to his family and his teammates. Very sad news for college football right there. So a college football team unveils black turf. Morrisville in New York, the athletic director says that they have true home field experience and advantage. So this is a Division III school. we're going to do baseball now. So Christian Encarnacion Strand made his big league debut. His first career hit, a go-ahead 3-run pinch hit home run. Wow. That's pretty awesome. Paul Skenes, the number 1 overall pick, trumps Spencer Torkelson's $8.4 million MLB draft bonus, so he gets the new record. Justin Verlander says he's committed to the Mets as he reiterates his goal of winning a title in Queens despite the Mets' struggles. Travis d'Arnaud re-signed with the Braves 1 year, $8 million with an $8 million club option for 2025. So they lock up their backup catcher. All right, some broadcasting news. The league takes over the Diamondbacks' rights as they joined the Padres as the second team to have broadcast produced by the league after the Bally Sports bankruptcy. This is a huge deal. So the Padres and the D-backs broadcasts are like MLB Network broadcasts now. And there's going to be more to come. Whoever games are broadcasted by Bally's is in trouble. And this is going to be a long story still, and there's going to be more to come for this. The Astros' dream trade acquisition is White Sox ace Dylan Cease, but the price is massive, according to John Heyman, as it should be massive. We talked about a ton of teams scoring 10-plus runs. 12 teams did it. The most, or the second most on a single day in league history, and most since 1894. The New York Yankees are favored to miss the postseason as they're in sole possession of last in the AL East through 95 games for the first time since 1990. And they should be favored not to make the playoffs. Aaron Judge is not back yet, and they're 3 back in the wild card. And if they're more than 3 back in the wild card on August 1st, they got to sell. My rule is that if you are more than 3 games back in the loss column so if you're more than 3 back in the loss column of the 3rd wild card, then you should sell. That's my rule. And the Yankees have a different circumstance to them because if Aaron Judge isn't back, then you probably should sell. But if he is back and they're right there, then go for it. But if they're more than 3 back in the loss column, sell. That's my rule. If you're more than 3 back in the wild card, that's my rule. So, favored to miss the postseason. I think they should be favored to miss the postseason. If you ask me, I don't think they make it. Unless if Aaron Judge hits like 30 home runs in the second half of the season and literally single-handedly carries the Yankees to the postseason. And speaking of the Yankees captain, manager Aaron Boone does not rule out returning July 25th against the Mets. He says he's getting close. I need to see it to believe it. I don't think we'll see him until August. I think that's wishful thinking. There's way too much rumors about Judge, whether it's good or bad. But I'm not buying that until I see 99 on the field. And that Yankee Stadium crowd going ballistic for the first time in a long time. Some soccer stuff. Barca signed Oriol Romeu as he was a part of La Masia Academy and made his debut under Pep in 2010, 2011. And João Felix says he'd love to join Barca. So we'll see if he goes there as well. So Arsenal wins the skills challenge as Austin Trusty closes it out for the Gunners in Entertaining Skills Challenge in D.C. So Bayern signs Min Jae Kim as he joins Bundesliga champs on a 5-year deal. All right, some basketball stuff. Daryl Morey says that Tyrese Maxey is a cornerstone and expects him to remain in Philly for the foreseeable future and eyes an extension next summer. Heat and Blazers still not close on a Dame deal, but there's no real traction, as Shams says. I think a third team needs to be in there. The Raptors want to keep OG Anunoby as they're not seriously listening to offers unless he becomes unhappy. I still think he's available. If you're mentioning trade rumors, you're available. If you're listening, you're available. Like Shohei Ohtani's available. OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam are available. Stephen Curry was at a Drake concert and he shouted him out. That makes sense. He's in New York because he was on Live with Kelly and Mark yesterday. That was a lot of fun. Draymond Green talks about Jordan Poole as he says he was triggered. He said, "We know stuff you don't say amongst men." He said that on the Pat Beverly podcast. Evan Fournier rips Tom Thibodeau as he was removed from the Knicks rotation. There's a reason why he was removed, because he wasn't helping them win games. No in-season tournament for the NHL as the league is not considering adding it, but a return to the Olympics in 2026 is still on the table. I think that would be cool if they return to the Olympics. I think that would be great for the league. And then Alex Galchenyuk is entering a program after being arrested last week. It's a player's assistance program. So I think he could use some assistance, obviously, after what happened to him. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. There's a couple that jumped out at me in baseball and in the WNBA, believe it or not, as well. I'm going to lay a half unit on a total I liked. And that is under 8.5 between the Marlins and the Cardinals. I think Sandy Alcantara can not pitch as bad as he did early in the year. He's slowly but surely getting there. Dakota Hudson's been really good for St. Louis. This has 5-3 written all over it. So I'm going to lay a half unit on under 8.5 between the Cardinals and the Marlins for my best bet of the day. Alrighty, so that is it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping the early FIFA games, looking ahead to some FIFA for tomorrow night and some overnight FIFA. And we have a lot of other activities and such planned for you guys as well. James Sellison's going to come on tomorrow night to do Dame trades with me. And Julian Gilardi's going to come on tomorrow potentially to do Ohtani, Arenado, and Goldschmidt trades. We're not going to do Juan Soto because we did Juan Soto last year, so it's not worth doing Juan Soto again this year. And then Jeff Burns on Friday, early evening, perhaps to do Haskell, as the Haskell will be at Monmouth Park on Saturday. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.